Okay, okay. My mic was muted. Hopefully you can hear me now. Hopefully you can see me now. Hopefully, I was trying to talk to Dad backstage, but my mic was off. All right. So I let me bring him on stage in a minute. Let me do my intro. So, welcome to the Get Rich 101 show. I'm an author. Here's my latest book. Um, Here it is. Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. So let me go ahead and get him on real quick, and I'll explain what's happening. All right, let's give Dad a round of applause. Drum roll, drum roll. Here we go. Hey, Pop.
Good morning, son.
Hey, Pop. So I was trying to talk to you backstage, but my mic was on. My mic was off. So I'm
Okay.
glad I figured that out just now. But this is what I was doing. What I was doing was I'm trading right now. The stock market opens at 9:30, and so I was trading right then. And so basically what happened is I made a trade and I got like minus two cents. And then I couldn't talk to you, so I was like, well, let me try again. So I tried again, and now I'm letting it play out. So I'm playing with SPY. You know SPY?
No.
SPY is Standard and Poor's SP 500. It's
Okay.
500 of the biggest companies in the United States. 500 of them, like big companies like McDonald's, Home Depot, all the big ones.
Okay.
And and so I got a little bit on them because I know they're gonna do well because everything is set by the S&P. Everyone sets their peaks and bounces based on what S&P is doing. So
Okay.
I just have to wait for it to go up. I have to wait for it up. Cross my
How can
threshold.
it go down less than a penny?
Because what I did was I hit sell right when I thought it was over, and it must have just slipped right below me, right as I pressed the button, it must have slipped right below my cost. So it's
Okay.
it's trickling like this, like this. So I know S&P is gonna win. It's gonna go up. So I just got to wait for
Okay.
it to cross my banner of going up, and then I'll press the button again. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's going on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for enlightening me.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to Get Rich 101. So Get Rich 101. Let's start with a get rich thing. A get rich. I mean, some tips or tricks from your past. What's a get rich or a story? Get rich story. What you got?
Absolutely nothing. I hadn't thought about this at all.
Yeah.
Uh, and I really had not thought about the terms of getting rich. I mean, I was much more in the survival vein, to make it and to have and see progress
Mm,
throughout our being from Africa to here.
right. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you guys gave me a investment broker just a few days ago. So what does he have? I mean, I haven't called him yet, but I will. But what does he have? I mean, what should I ask him for? What's his thing? What's he got going that's good?
Yeah, you got to ask Mama Janet that. Hold on,
Okay.
she'll be here.
Okay. Okay. I'll ask her. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Mom Janet.
Hey.
Hey. So tell me what I should be expecting
Well,
from.
he's going to ask you about your investment goals. What are your goals? He's
Okay.
going to ask you about your tolerance for risk. How much risk do you want to take? How much, he'll ask you what your age is and when you may want to retire. and then what will look comfortable for you. And he will, and then you should be asking him, about his background. He has been my broker for over 30 years. So I know that he's a solid person. Before I left telecommunications, I got set up with him, and he's been my broker ever since. So he does a lot of my investment for me. But, I monitor it. I look and see. He knows me well enough to know that I'm not a big risk taker. And he also knows that, I'm looking for growth. And so, we have a pretty good relationship. He does a lot of the work for me and sends me the information, but I do check it.
Okay.
And see, he'll ask me, if I want to buy a particular stock or if I want to get into a particular fund. And I will look, and then he'll send you a perspective. And then you can decide whether you like the trajectory or not.
Wow. Okay. All right. So he does it for both of you?
Well, yeah. Well, he does it for me, and we're partners.
Okay. All right. That's great. And does he work for a company, or does he work for himself?
It's his business. It's financial foundations, and it's his business.
Okay. And so what, he takes like 1 or 2%, or?
He takes a small percentage of your investments, and it's usually on a yearly basis.
Okay. Well, good. I'll give him a call. Thanks so much, Mama Janet.
Yeah. Now, a lot of times they have a minimum amount that they like to work with in terms of, but for him, he takes family members because he figures that you'll start off at one level and you'll progress to another. But most brokers have a minimum that they want to work with you on. So if you have, $100,000 or more, but his name is Nick Constantino. He will work with you with less than that.
Okay. All right. So what about like Jerome? Like, is Jerome already gotten with him? Jerome
does his own thing. He doesn't. Okay. We don't tend to do it together.
Okay.
And he hasn't asked me that much. Jerome is a saver in some cases. And he's like you. He's working. Hopefully he's putting some things away. I know they have stocks because they have 2 kids, one that just graduated from college and one that's in college. And we're still paying for those things. But they've been fortunate. They had 2 sets of grandparents, and one set invested in both boys long before they were, middle schoolers. And that's how their college education is being paid for.
Wow. That's great. Great info.
And then I supplement that. So.
Yeah. As you should.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mama Janet. Thank you very much. Okay, Pop. So we talked about that. We got the gift out the way. So tell me about what's been going on with you. What's been happening?
Well, hey, it's pretty much the same. We've been having extremely hot weather. Maybe as hot as it is in Central Florida or Southern Florida, for that matter. But finally, thankfully, it's cooled down as of last night. And I understand from your cousin Cliff, that the grass is green at our home in Florida. So it must be some rain happening with the sun and heat. And I'm doing, my usual thing, reading, collecting the African-American newspapers, and talking to my guys and playing a little golf.
Yeah. Well, that's an important thing that we should talk about, the fact that you live half the time in Boston and half the time in Florida. So why don't you give that up to people? Because people don't understand when I talk about it. I'm like, yeah, half in Florida, half in Boston. So tell us about how that works.
Well, it's something that, at least for us, it happened while we were still working. A developer in New Hampshire contacted her company, one of the phone companies. I'm not sure which one it was. I think New England Tall at that time, to take a look at Central Florida. He was kind of the Disney of land development as opposed to activity and adventure stuff. And he just had bought a lot of land, and had it all set up. Really, if you made a commitment, could take care of it. We went down on one of his jet planes. I think it was fall. And the thing was, it cost you $99 if you didn't buy. If you did not buy. If you bought, it cost you nothing for a weekend in Central Florida, and private jet there and back.
Right. That's nice.
Our first trip, we went down and they showed us around, showed us the land, showed us the surrounding, introduced us to manatees, the sea cow. We hadn't heard of such a thing, Yeah. We saw that. And we sat down, with a little wine, and that whole weekend we didn't make a decision. So we got back on the plane, and I asked the pilot, "Who takes the money?" He said he didn't know. I said, "Okay, fine. This is not going to cost me anything." So for the first weekend, it didn't cost anything. We looked, and observed and thought, and then ultimately decided we would go back. And going back, we bought a two-bedroom single family house, and mainly the tenants paid for that because they were there during the winter. We were still working, so we didn't have a lot of time to be down all winter. These were retired people, and the place was available during the summer, and summer was too hot for me to be there. She went down occasionally with her girlfriends, but ultimately the place got paid full ownership, and then we sold and bought a 3-bedroom house, which you have stayed in. In fact, you stayed in both, the 2-bedroom as well as now the 3-bedroom house, with the pool and the hot tub and so forth. So that's how it worked. And now we live.
Nice.
During the winter in Central Florida, a place called Hernando, which is a part of a small group of 5 little towns. And during the summer, we stay in Milton, Massachusetts.
Right. Milton, Massachusetts. So you basically escaped from the winter. You escaped the winter. As soon as it starts getting cold.
Try to have 2 warm seasons, a total year of warm seasons.
Yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. So, B. King is shouting you out. She's saying, "Hey, Papa George. Hey, Papa.
Hey."
Hey. And she's saying something to Mama Janet. Your grandsons are very fortunate. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay. So
Jordan and Gabriel.
Jordan Gabriel, yeah.
Right.
So tell us about what else we want to talk about. Let's talk about we started talking about the people that you knew from the social justice movement. So tell us about someone else that you knew. Civil rights movement, yeah. So tell us about someone else that you knew from those days.
Well, tough question. But I'll tell you, one of my favorite people was a lady from Jackson, Mississippi. What's her name? Fannie Lou Hamer. a hell of a sister,
Mm.
and one who didn't take any prisoners.
She-
Done a documentary on her lately.
I understand there's from Mama Janet that a documentary has been done on her. I haven't seen it.
oh, really? I
Um,
haven't seen it either.
yeah, but she lived in Jackson, Mississippi, so I was there a few times. A couple of times met Dr. King there for he came down for a fundraiser and movement, helping the movement, and I was there. But she was a lady who said, if you come into her house, you have to come into her conference room. Her conference
Mm.
room was her kitchen, and her kitchen table was a conference
Wow.
table, and you
Wow.
had to have something to eat.
Okay.
And she pulled no punches. We're going to get this done. I mean, she took a lot of beating, terrible,
Mm.
but it didn't stop her. It didn't prevent her from moving forward.
Mm. All right. She did her thing. Did her thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Let's shift gears again. Let's shift gears again. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I'm reading B. King's comments.
Mm-hmm.
We are listening. Thank you, Mama Janet. My favorite segment. She's saying, looking forward to good family. Um, yeah, listen to all these things that B. King is saying. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so now we talked about those things. Let's see where else we gonna go.
Okay.
Let's see. Mm, let's talk about. Let's talk about. Um, oh, golf. Golf. I've been trying to get this because a little bit to do with my memory loss. So I've been
Uh-huh.
trying to get this. So explain golf to me. Like you got involved in golf when and for how long?
When you were a child.
When I was a toddler. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and we used to go to the Cape Cod, Massachusetts,
Mm.
and it would be us and you,
Mm.
Mama Jane, and the you would be alone, if we didn't bring somebody else, some or one of your friends, and having done that, I at that time I was a fairly active golfer.
Mm.
I needed to, not in addition to your friends, my friend or friends who are golfers,
Mm.
and that's how it got started. And then it grew from that to the Morrison Golf Classic, which we ran for 20 years. We don't do it anymore. It took us 23 years to get 20 years in. And you were a key a partner in that role. You grew up from a toddler to a junior partner, and
Wow.
you had a lot of contacts and ideas in the living in the big city of
Wow.
people and activities, and you helped it grow.
Wow.
So
That's
you really took over.
I have to go over. That reminds me of the photo that I used for us. Look at this. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Ta-da!
Yeah, here it is,
Here it
Morrison.
is. Mars and Golf Classic. Mars and Golf Classic. Yeah. That's where those credits came from.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's really cool. That's really
And
cool.
matter of fact, you found the entrepreneur who sold those sweatshirts and polo shirts. We could easily get our logo on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. And so, when did you start playing golf around that time? When did you like you said since I was a pup? So like from I was a child, and then you've been playing golf for I don't know.
Most of my life. But let me tell you how I got
Wow.
started.
Okay.
Uh, I was, I'm sure, maybe middle school,
Mm.
in Savannah, Georgia, where I'm from and was born and raised through high school. And one of my friends or more said, why don't you come to the golf course, and caddy a second job, or for me, a first job. And I
Okay.
talked it over with my parents, and they said, you don't need that job, but you might enjoy the experience. I
Mm.
already had a job. I got an allowance, and I had a little bicycle,
Right.
and with a basket on it, and I was the gopher. Long before I knew
Okay.
what a gopher was, I was one, and
You were okay.
and my parents paid me to do that. Okay,
Okay.
uh, so I said, well, okay, I got one job, I got one salary from you all. I can maybe get another one being a caddy. And it
Right.
was a learning process and an introduction to golf. And
Mm.
it turns out the caddy master liked me. He gave me some clubs and balls, and I, learned to hit the ball around and ultimately to play. So I was
Mm.
very young in the beginning, and didn't have a lot of serious interest in golf. My sporting events was football and track, which
Mm.
I uh, did and I made varsity in both. And
Yes, you did track. You did track, as I did. I did track too. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
chip off the old block.
Hip hop field block. Yeah. Yeah. Um, my track experience was much more laid out. I remember doing the 4x100. Those for you just watching it, just 4x100 yards, and then the 4x4 where everyone ran a lap. Everyone ran a lap. That was good. That was good. And hurdles. I ran hurdles. Yanks. That was rough.
Running and jumping at the same time.
Yeah, that was hard work. That was hard work. Yeah,
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 too hard for me.
yeah. Too hard for me. Ultimately, I let that go. I let that go. Yeah, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Okay, so you've had some great stories. You got some great stories, and to hear them all like captured together is fun. It's fun.
yeah, yeah.
So tell me a golf story if you can think of one.
I can. Uncle
Okay.
Joe and I were used to make southern trips from Boston. He too was from Savannah. We were lifelong friends, and we would travel south during the summer months and early and fall. And one of those trips, we were in the Myrtle Beach, and I only the other two guys we were playing with, I didn't know. Um, and so Uncle Joe, obviously I knew we traveled together. And one guy was having a really bad game, and he
Mhm.
was cursing and throwing clubs. He had, you don't want to be close to him. He might get hit,
Right.
and not with a ball, with a club. And
Wow.
he came to me ultimately and said, uh, George, I apologize. I said, why? He said, I didn't realize you were a priest. Joe told him I was a priest.
What?
I said, Joe is a lying guy. I'm not a priest. That's a golf story I'll never forget. I mean, the guy went from, being insanely mad about the game to calming down and apologizing to me because he thought I wore the cloth.
Wow. That's a great story. That's a
Yeah,
great story. That's very funny. All right.
and Joe just said he wouldn't look at me. He looked the other way. I
Yeah.
mean, he knew he told a big lie.
But you got the right result. You got the right
Yeah,
result.
he did. The guy
Yeah.
calmed down, and we had a decent round.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Okay. So, V King is tapping in here. She's asking if Mama Janet knows golf.
Yeah, she played golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a late bloomer. Let me tell you a story about her in golf.
Okay.
She was, corporate America in the telephone company, and they would have retreats and conferences, and she and some of her cohorts would always go shopping, while many of the guys and some of the women would play golf. Deals were made on the golf course. My biggest deal was made on the golf course.
Okay.
It ain't just playing golf. It's about doing business and learning and meeting and receiving contacts.
Right.
I tried to tell her that maybe instead of shopping, she should be playing golf. Oh no, I got this work. Don't worry about it. I got it. It turns out she lost one of her clients while she was shopping. It happened on the golf course. She said, "Oh, now I understand."
All right.
Yeah. So that's life. But we're in this game, of life. And that's what it is. It's a game. It goes back and forth, back and around, up and down. You never know. It's like the merry-go-round sometimes, and the airplane or jet plane going straight up another time.
I say. All right. Well, that's the time we got today. Props. That was a good. What's the word? Picture board where everything is picturized and you put it all together. You know what I'm saying? Mosaic.
Yeah,
Nice little mosaic.
That's a good word.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We're painting a picture.
Yes. Painting a picture.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being here, Prop. I appreciate you being here. Stay in the green room for a second. I'll hang out with you. And everybody, thanks for watching us, folks.
What we should do is kind of pass the contact so that everybody on Rap's board can participate, or at least can listen.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Extend the crowd, at least the local crowd.
Okay. All right, folks. Okay. We'll see you later. Remember that now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. And I'll see you later.
Ciao.